Proud to tell you tonight that I own my home. I've owned several cars. And the fact of the matter is, I know the value of good health insurance after spending the last election night in the trauma unit in Akron General Hospital. I also completely understand the pricing system at Save-A-Lot, because that's where I buy my groceries. And quite honestly, I've known what it's been like to live paycheck to paycheck. And it wasn't all that long ago. And the fact of the matter is, when a person finds themselves in my situation, you become extremely good at stretching your dollars to produce good things. You also learn the value of a dollar, and you also learn that when people raise your taxes, it actually hurts. There's not another pocket to reach to. We've only got one, and it's very limited. My income, it's not much more than the median income across the country, across the state, probably not much more than it is here. Well, I guess now that I'm married and got a wealthy wife, you know, it might be a little bit more than the average and mean income here in Ashland County. I'm sorry I said that, Melanie. Melanie works at the Salvation Army, remember? But nonetheless, I will tell you, as a county commissioner, that's where I really think I first understood what it means to be serving in one of these offices and having an ordinary salary and an ordinary life of one home, one car, and so on. Because you know what? When we took a look at raising the amount the employees would have to pay for their county health insurance out of each paycheck, and we looked at some of those figures, $25 was one we first threw around, and then it went up to $50 and so on. It might have ended up even bigger than that after I left. Nonetheless, though, when we had those discussions, you quickly began to see, look, if one of these county employees, they're not all well paid. If one of them had to have $25 more taken out of their paychecks twice during a month period, it would be like them having to pay a whole nother electric bill, a whole nother telephone bill, or otherwise. You know, I've often thought that it probably wouldn't be a bad thing if I never made more money than what I make today. Because the reality is, it does help you stay in touch with what challenges average men and women are leading. Take a look at the U.S. Senate. I believe at this point it's entirely occupied by millionaires. I like George Bush, but the reality is George W. never lived the life that you and I did here in Ashland County. And you know what? There's far more people living lives just like ours than there are George W. Bush, John Kerry's, and the others. So, I'm proud to speak of my ownership.